Hey guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Alen.
And welcome to another episode of The Next Man Up. Well, welcome back to the Next Man Up podcast, where we are all about equipping fathers and raising up the next generation of men. And if you joined us for the last episode, you know that we finished partway through a conversation about various fathering types that exist today. And if you missed that episode, you may want to go back and pick up some of the context for where we are, because we're going to jump right back into that conversation for this episode and pick up right where we left off. So here we go. How about the antagonistic father? What comes to mind when you think about that one?
Just like I just think about the dad who always wants to win. Like,
yeah,
you gotta win the argument. And like you, it's almost like you're the kid as a dad with the stick, and you just keep poking the bear.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like and it does, like, to me, I think that's a form of abuse as well.
I agree.
You know, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
No, I think you're right. Like, I think a couple of these could fall under the category of abuse. But the antagonism it's a little more subtle. You know, it's the snide comments. It's the, well, that'll never work, or you weren't able to do it before. What makes you think you're going to be able to do it this time? You know, it's comments like that where there's conversation. Dad is in the mix, so to speak. But it's not life-giving. You know, the words that are used are life-taking, and they're just damaging. They're destructive. You know, if left unchecked, they're destructive to the mind, to the thinking, to the mindset. And anyway, go ahead.
Well, the thing is too is that if dads, if we want to build a gaping wall, like I'm talking Grand Canyon-sized, like, cavern between us and our boys.
You think this might be a good way to do it?
This is a great way to do it.
Right, if that's your goal.
Like, I'm serious, man. Like, if that's your goal, like if that's the goal, then it will only end with a son not trusting or not wanting to talk, or being defensive. Why? It's the age-old question to our kids, right? Why are you being defensive all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Well, a good question maybe is like, well, how antagonistic have you been lately? You know, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, oh man, I'm stories are flooding my head with my own example, but I'm trying not to piece out stuff.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's these moments where there's a chance to say something encouraging and in good. And I can hear, like, even my own thoughts. Well, I don't want to lie to my kid. Like, there's a difference between lying and encouraging. Like lying to your kid, okay. If they're not good at something, then they're not good at something. But you don't gotta tell them by stamping it into their head, to their heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do it by throwing water on the fire that's in their heart. Like yes, Alen can't sing. I can rap, but I can't sing. Like, but if my dad would have kept pointing at me and saying, "Alen, you suck as a singer," I don't think I would have had a good relationship with him. Like, you know, like, there's a difference of being real and just being a plain old punk. Like, you know, and we don't have to be a punk to our kids, because honestly, like I said, they're the ones who, when they hit 18, they're gonna turn and you'll hardly have a relationship with them at all. You know, and when we antagonize, and that's not our father. That's not our Father God anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like like, you know, when I first got married and our first child was being born, and you know, then our second, and you know, I had this like crazy feeling like I don't know how to father. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, I have an earthly father in Ray, who became like almost like my adopted dad, but I have even better dad, who is Father God, who is like shown me like how to be a good father, and he's never been that way.
Yeah.
He never antagonizes. He never like belittles. He always reveals with truth and love, you know? And so if we're going to give our son truth, then we need to also give him love. And we need to find a way to like wrap everything we say in a way that it's coming from a point of love. You know what I mean? Antagonistic remarks and downing our kids and always like poking at them and seeing like almost like we're waiting to see them blow up. That's not done in love. That's done from something else. From whatever it is not love. So you know, and that's what we're called to do, is love our kids.
I have to admit, I had one of these antagonistic moments not too long ago, maybe just last week. And you know, my middle son, big into dance, and we're kind of working through what the future looks like for him. We were watching something on like a documentary on a dance studio and some competitive dance, and you know, he was not as impressed with the quality of dance as I thought he would be, and he, you know, he has a tendency to be critical. Probably most of the time he's right, but I was a little surprised, and I made a comment to him. I said this, like, "Look, dude, we're on the couch. They're out there getting it done." And my point was, at some point, you know, the hustle and the drive is enough to overcome some of the skill, if you will. But it sure came out like, well, you know, what's your excuse, and why are you sitting here watching when they're out there doing? And
yeah,
that was not one of my one of my more proud moments. And you know, my intent was not to antagonize, but you know, once it's said, it's said. And you can't take it back. You can only apologize and move on. And we're good. We're okay. But that's just a small example of something even recently where I'm like, this is not helpful. That's not the parent. That's not the dad that I want to be. There's another way to communicate the message and to help motivate and encourage him to pursue his vision. There's a better way. Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that.
Yeah. So how about the passive father? You know, when I hear this one, I think of the dad, and there's probably nuances to this, but I think of the dad that is a little bit intimidated by maybe by teenagers, or maybe by little kids, you know. Maybe a little intimidated, a little afraid, doesn't want to upset the relationship. Maybe there's been some conflict in the past and feels like, look, if I say no, or if I establish some boundaries, or if I quote unquote parent, then it's gonna make the relationship even worse. My kid's gonna grow farther away from me. Blah blah blah. That. Again, I'm sure there's multiple ways to interpret this, but that's kind of the picture that comes to mind with respect to a passive father.
And you know, it's like, man, because I feel like from what we just said, like this could seem like it's swinging the pendulum the other way,
right? Like too far completely. The other way, right?
Yeah, and I like, you know, dude, this parenting thing, this being a father thing, it's sometimes you feel like it's a balancing act, because you got to balance all these things in your hand. Like when do I press? When do I like release? When do I, you know, when do I, you know, jump in headlong with my son, and when do I just pull the reins? And you know, in this one, like I get it. I get it's you've had so many battles.
Yeah.
You know, it's Rocky in the 12th round. Like, do I have to go out there? Like,
I don't want to take any more body blows.
I can't even see. you know? It's like, where's Adrian? And so it's like, I get it, man. This idea of like, you know what, I'm not gonna fight this battle. But I think it's more of that statement of, I'm not gonna fight this battle all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. Because we have to fight for our sons. And I hate to use like war terms or fighting terms, but there is a sense of, no, there is a lot out there competing for my son's attention. And there's a lot out there competing to teach him how to live. And I have to sometimes bull my way in there and shout louder. Like, I have to go, maybe not shout louder, but remind my son, like, hey, I'm dad.
Yeah. I'm
the guy who was there when you were born, and I've been a guy who's been there, who's got your back. I've carried you on my shoulder. I've sat you on my lap. I've dried tears. I've picked you up and said it's gonna be okay. I've encouraged. I'm dad, man. And if I'm watching this right, you're heading down the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I can't, with all good conscience and love, let you go down that way without saying or doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
And we have to take that stance.
That's part of our responsibility, right? That's what you're saying. It's a role that we have to play.
It's our role. We got, and dads, that's all. Like in that role, if we just become passive, then what we're doing is we're handing that role, we're handing that title away to something else, and that something else will become dad, and that some other person will become dad, and we can't do that because that person is not supposed to be dad, or that thing isn't supposed to be dad. We are. That's our job. When we made our son, we said that with our actions, that we are going to be father. And so we have to step up, even when it feels like it's too many battles.
Yeah.
Fight again.
Yeah.
Fight again.
Yeah. Like we've said before, you can't outsource this and hope and hope it goes well for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And like, you know, there's been times where, like, you know, I've had to call out to friends who have connection with my kids and say, hey, you know what? I need some help on this one. Can you, and that's not passing the responsibility.
No,
so to speak.
Not at all.
That's bringing in reinforcement.
Right. Exactly.
You know, so in other words, like, if there's fathers out there listening, like, look, you're not alone. You're not alone. If it's like, oh, I'm just so tired. Another struggle. It's another fight. I don't want to fight my kid. There's other reinforcements out there that you can call in. Look for them. See who's there. Call them in. You know, but we cannot just lay down our arms and say, do whatever you want to do.
Agree.
All the time. We cannot do that.
Agree. Yeah. All right. So number 5 is the performance-based father. And the image I have with this one is you get good grades, you perform well on the team, you do your stuff around the house. Basically, if you perform, then you get my love and affection and attention. And if you don't, then maybe I slip into one of these other 4 that we've been talking about. And come down on you or withhold from you. But, you know, basically, in order for you to get me as a father, you've got to perform and meet all of these expectations. And, you know, it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous and it's destructive. Now it's not to say, and this is probably obvious and goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's not to say that we shouldn't have high expectations and challenge our boys to reach and stretch and grow, but whether they make it or not should not be the barometer for our affection, our love, or how we treat them.
Yeah, man. I mean, wow. That's dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really dangerous. And Yeah, and I see how easy it is to fall into that, though.
It's so
Our
easy
society, you know what I'm
without
saying?
even intending to, right? Like
No,
we just kind of
no.
slip into that mindset.
It's like, you're doing well. Oh, I'm gonna praise you. You're not doing well. Oh, dude, you suck. Like, I mean, it's
Right.
like, you know what I mean? And it's we happy and frustrated with you. Like, I'm either happy with you or I'm just frustrated with your performance. Like, this is not the kid that I raised. Dude, that can mess a kid up, man.
That's right. That's right.
That can mess a kid up. So our kids grow up thinking like I if I'm not doing well, I'm not okay. There's something wrong in that statement.
That's
you
right.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm not doing well, I'm not okay. Like, look, man, we're human. You know what I'm saying? We're human, and there's going to be times where we're off, and there's going to be times where we don't make the team. There's going to be times where our grades aren't up there, high in the sky, but that does not define who we are. Like, we are not our grades. We are not our basketball or football or soccer or volleyball or, whatever. We are not that.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
us. You know what I'm saying? So when we do that, we tie our identity, we tie our kids' identities to their performance, and that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong. Because if my identity was tied to my performance, there's some days where I walk off the stage from talking going, oh my gosh, what did I even just say? Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Like, wow, man, there's days where like, I go, wow, I suck as a husband.
Yeah.
There's days where as a dad, I drop the ball. There's days where as a friend, I drop the ball, but like, that's not who I am. That may be a behavior, but that's not who I am. And so, dads, we got to be careful with this one, because this one, I think, can be truly destructive. It's the ace in the hole to damage our kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's that sneaky little mosquito with the malaria that we're not worried about, that bites our kids, man, and destroys their lives. And so if you don't want your kid growing up thinking that, their identity is tied to what they do, they are who they are. They are loved by you. They are loved by others. And that's what makes them. Then don't tie that. Don't do the performance-based thing. Like, don't do that. It's gonna ruin them. I do this thing with my son. If he loses out on a game of basketball, I'll buy a bunch of pizzas. And, some people would disagree with me on this. His friends will come over to the house, buy pizza, or, I'll do something to celebrate, because they worked their hearts out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They did their best, and it's hard to lose, and they did it well. So I want to celebrate that. I find the thing to celebrate with my kids, even in loss.
Interesting.
Even in loss. Because and some people are like, dude, that goes with the whole give every kid a trophy thing. Like whether you agree with that or not, there is a sense though that something good came out of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something good came out of it, and we need to celebrate that. And so I feel on this one, I want to swing completely the pendulum. I do want to swing the pendulum completely the other way with my kid, and show him that, even though you lost, there's beauty in loss. There's beauty in failure. There's beauty in dropping the ball, because you can learn something. What did you learn? And so I'm sorry, I'm on my soapbox now.
No, it's all good. I was thinking in my own recent experience, my daughter asked my wife just the other day, and homeschoolers will get this because we don't really pay as much attention to grades as in traditional schools. But her question was, Mom, what grade is a bad grade, and I'll get in trouble. And there's an opportunity, right, to speak life and to crush this whole performance-based thinking, or to answer the question with a standard that then becomes something she may not even be able to live up to, right? And then could potentially take this on as, okay, if I achieve X grade, then I'm good.
Yeah.
If I don't, then I'm bad. And that may not be the message that we intend. But if you set the bar, let's say anything less than an A is not acceptable in this house. Well, what did you just tell your child? And maybe it was with good intention, right? Like, I want my kids to strive for the best, for excellence, for straight A's. But it's more nuanced than that. And I think understanding this mentality of performance-based love and affection can help us choose words, choose answers, choose a message that can be both life-giving as well as challenging, rather than conditional and incumbent upon good performance. I'm kind of repeating myself here, but it's subtle. It's subtle. Even just little words make a difference. One word versus another, right? Like,
Absolutely.
We've been changing our language for a while, but you get an A, good boy, right? Versus you get right. Yeah. Like, what does that? Yeah. The intent is nice job. You should be proud, but good boy communicates a different message. So anyway, just something to be aware of. Look, I think that in all of this, what we've been saying is that the ideal parenting style, fathering style, is to be empowering, to be engaged, to speak life, and to uplift and raise up your kids on the words, on the affection, on your actions, on your activities. And if you don't, we just went through 5 different things that it looks like. But it comes back to making that choice to lean in and I've got the Toby Mac words running around in my head, to choose life, to speak life, with the words that we say and the things that we do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, absolutely. Aim to empower. To empower.
That's right. Well, props to Louie for the inspiration for this, and
Giglio, that was pretty nice.
That's right, and good conversation, listeners. Hopefully, you're finding these to be beneficial. As always, you can hit us up on social media or through our email. We'd love to get your feedback, and stay tuned here in just a second for the details for the upcoming event here at the end of March. We'd love to see you and your sons join us. So, Alen, cool. My friend, it's been a pleasure as always, and thank you for your wisdom, likewise, for your experience, being willing to share your story, likewise. And until we do this again, my friend.
Dude, absolutely. Catch you again, friend.
All right, adios. Once again, if you are interested in joining us for this fun father and son event on Saturday, March 30th, you can find all the information you need on our Facebook page at The Next Man Up 1 or on our website at thenextmanup.com/events. Look, this is going to be a fantastic time of hanging together with your son, other fathers and sons, and not only experiencing a fun and challenging escape room, but also some interaction with your boy, and really leaning into what it means to be a man today. And so we just want to invite you to join us. Space is limited, and so make sure you get out to the website or the Facebook page, get registered so that we can see you on March 30th. Hey listeners, thanks for journeying with us on this Next Man Up podcast. We would love to hear from you. Maybe you have a question or an idea, perhaps a topic for us to consider. If that's you and you want to reach out to us, you can get us at feedback@thenextmanup.com. That's feedback@thenextmanup.com. Again, we'd love to hear from you. Until next time, we'll see you later.